reshaped. This where the real ones show up. Stand up for the ones who know what's up. It's the album where the realest pull up. Game over, that's when the truth fall out the cup. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Last call, Sutton Simmons. Last call, uncut opinions. Last call, what the polish won't say. Pull the stool up, the rounds on the way.
And welcome back to yet another episode of Sutton Simmons. As you see, our backdrop is a bit different today. The original studio was under construction, and we are temporarily moving here. But you know, as they say, Sim, the show must go on. I know how you feel about this.
You know I'm not happy about it.
You're not happy, but you know what? Who cares? The people want to hear what we have to say, and that is why we are saying it. I mean, today's show is a bit interesting. We had guests on the last several episodes, but before I get into that, I want to shout out Casino New York, great sponsor, and also there's a special gift to the show, and my friends at Power Tech, my good friend Ralph, made us custom jerseys. So this one is actually for you. It says Simmons on it. Show it to your camera.
Love it.
He's going to make you another one in your size. He knows he made you a bit of a dress. He made one for me as well.
Sam, as you know, I love my stuff fitted.
Yeah, fitted is right. I mean, I get it, but just wanted to say thank you to
nice.
Power Tech.
Love it.
For keeping the show in mind.
Love it.
All right, now on to business. We're not going to go broad over here. I want to keep it tight. The talk of the town right now is USA in the round of 16 in the World Cup. I know you have a lot of thoughts on that. And before we even let you cook on that, I just want to say my opinion, soccer's a bad sport. It's a terrible sport. I'll give you my reasons why, and I know everyone in the studio is giving me dirty looks right now. They're all into the World Cup, and I get it. But the whole rules and how it's very subjective, and I will get into details, and you're going to tell me why I'm wrong or why I'm right. But soccer is not a good sport. Anyway, Simmons, talk to me about the World Cup in USA.
Well, I think we could get into USA, but I think the World Cup's been unbelievable. Everything that you've seen throughout social media, the experience of these Europeans coming to America has been incredible, like literally incredible. And all you've seen is how Europeans are only talking about the misconceptions they've had about America, how great it is, and all these other details. So that's been fun to see. And it's awesome, just the experience that they've had. Again, you got to keep in mind, to travel in Europe, around in Europe, it's very cheap. It's not expensive. But for them to travel to the U.S., just like for us to go to Europe, it's super expensive. So the trip's got to really warrant, the travel and all those other details involved. So it's been awesome to see just the experience that they've had in just even going into some of our retail stores. And of course our arenas. People underestimate. Like I remember when Brazil had the World Cup, they built around 6 or 7 extra arenas, because I think the minimum that FIFA requires, I remember at least as of 2 World Cups ago, was 8 arenas. The hosting city has to have 8 arenas in order to host all the matches. Brazil's economy, they were just sinking so their people were rioting outside arenas. Yeah, it was insane. So for the U.S. hosting it, of course, having Mexico as well as Canada, but when you look within the U.S., everyone's going insane about our facilities. It's not just our sporting venue arenas,
right.
like NFL.
It's the cities that are built out.
It's even our high school and college facilities.
Right, even the practice facilities.
Correct.
So, David, you said something about Brazil. I remember reading that they had to build out a few facilities just to host these types of things. I think the same thing happened for the Olympics, last Olympics. Where they built
Sochi.
out.
Sochi had a lot of issues in
right.
Like,
so
their literal, their own country citizens didn't have toilets to make it, but yet the government was pouring hundreds of millions
and that can
in
make
additional
issues.
facilities.
That's problematic.
Correct.
That's why America is a good host for an event of this nature.
I think we'll have it. It won't just be, in terms of the drought since the last one we had. We won't have that again. We're going to host one at every 4 or 5 World Cups, I personally believe, just because of our infrastructure. It's not just our large arenas. It's our practice facilities, our high school arenas, our college arenas. So that's been awesome to see. I think it took a World Cup to sort of help unify our country more, allow the American people to realize how good and how much things we have here. Of course, the extra access, the overindulgence, the fast
It also
food.
helps that America is the melting pot, and every country does have representation here anyway.
Yeah, but again, it's easier for the European to come here where they don't necessarily have everything that we have at their, sort of their at their discrepancy whenever they want, right? Fast food and all these things. So now for them coming in and having this in micro doses is sort of, it's different because, Americans overindulge in everything that we have access to, where Europeans don't have access to as many things. And you could tell me whatever you want about soccer.
No problem. First of all, I will admit to you and give you 100%, I agree. It's great for the country. And the fact on America's 250th birthday, we have the World Cup being here and like the international crowds, and I see what's going on, and the camaraderie is on a different level, no question about it. And I can't take that away. However, let's just talk about the sport of soccer itself, or football itself. How does it make any sense, and explain it to me, how we have a 90-minute clock, yet maybe it's 94, yet maybe it's 98, yet maybe it's 112 minutes, based on just a referee on his own whim deciding when the clock gets extended. Oh, wait, don't talk yet, because I'm going to unload on this. That makes absolutely no sense. If you have a clock, stop the clock when there's a clock stoppage. And people take advantage of the clock stoppage. What do I mean by that? The cramps, the getting back in, the changing in, it's all estimated. And when you have a guy on the sideline holding up a sign, 5 more minutes, 8 more minutes, because he decides so, it's arbitrary. It's based on what he decides. It's so, don't me, it's arbitrary. Why can't we have a clock stop like every other major sport with a clock involved and not have it subjective to this referee? Yeah, we have virtual assistants and yet nonsense. That's point number one. We're going to get to that in a minute. You get back to me in a minute on that. Point number two, and it bothers me till no end. You said it before. This offsides nonsense is so garbage. You could have a gorgeous goal just be pulled back completely because a toenail or a shoulder or a finger, and you have the virtual lines and you have the virtual referee. It's so technical. Why can't we just be black and white? This sport makes no sense to me. And I try to get into it. Every 4 years, I try to watch the World Cup, and I see these things that just irk me. But clock being the biggest problem. You can't have a guy decide when add minutes or not. Go. Convert me. Why is it better than NFL? Why is it better than NBA with clocks?
Well, number one, with the clock situation, it is not. There's the ref has a watch that he is timing.
He's
all
timing.
stoppages.
That he's timing.
Yes.
Stop the damn clock.
No, but again, you could say stop the clock, but it's the sport's not governed by that, right? Or there's no commercials. It's running time.
Well, there is commercials now when there's water breaks.
No,
because they got to sell World Cup commercials.
No, they had that. They've had that hydration break. They instituted that, of course, with the
To sell commercials.
No, but I believe in the last event they had that as well with the hydration break commercial. I'm pretty certain that they had commercials in the last World Cup. But the stoppage time, the ref has it, and he's holding that clock there. Injuries, cramping. You could talk about some of that. The nicking. I think there's gamesmanship within every sport. As far as you mentioned the offsides, okay, what about the Chiefs?
We'll go back to the time. Players are getting awarded at this point.
No,
Yes. I can even give you lip.
what do you mean awarded?
The fake cramps, they're getting extra time.
Yeah, it's extra time. The ref he's holding that extra time in his clock.
Running to the corner.
Running to the corner is
slow
gamesmanship. I'm
slow
holding
substitutions.
possession. If I'm holding the ball to go to the corner to waste some clock, I'm holding possession of the ball.
You're getting awarded to making the game less entertaining. Okay.
No,
Understood.
No, it's not. It's the same situation as running the football in running the
With
ball
a clock.
No, but also this 30. You could argue the play clock is what 40 seconds in between every play. It's
But at least it's structured.
30
But we know what we're getting.
Yeah, but it's still the NFL. That still exists. A team's going to run the football more when they have a 20-point lead, or when the clock governs where the finish line can be. I think there's a little bit of that in every sport. As far as the offsides, didn't we see the Chiefs lose a game where dude was literally like a fraction of a nail offside. That was on the opposite line of scrimmage. That had no effect on the play.
Bad
All right.
officiating.
Okay, so
I'm not defending bad officiating. But at least we have rules to go by.
I'm just saying, like, it's so stupid. And then, like, in basketball, for the first 46 minutes of a game, or for the first 38 minutes of college basketball games, okay, this is the dumbest thing, arguably, in all sports. We don't review these bang plays where the ball gets tipped off someone's finger, or it's two hands connecting and one touch it, the next one touch, and it goes out of bounds. Okay, I saw Texas Tech when David Moretti, okay, the Italian, when his hand against Virginia, the ball went off. It was something so stupid. But if they reviewed that play the first 38 minutes of the game, you'd find dozens of those. And same thing in the NBA. Oh, now the last 2 minutes of the game, we're going to review a tip with the tip of the finger. It's so stupid. It's either review it the whole game or don't review it. You know what I'm saying? You're like waiting when
get it right or don't get it right.
So, you know, so it's just there's nicks and crannies in every single sport. Then you want to say the slowness of soccer. Okay, what about the slowness of baseball? Like, and what about, you know, and then what about in football? Everyone loves football. But everyone talks about football, right? You can't even freaking see 90% of the play. Like these idiots talk about football like they know football. You can't even see the line of scrimmage, right? You don't even know what's happening in the line. You don't even know how a receiver's breaking off his dig or his route because all you see is the hike of the football from the quarterback. Like that's the sport you slave to.
Okay.
At least in soccer, I could see the pitch.
I have a question
I could see the movement. I could see the flow. Yeah, the ball goes back to get forward. It's because also there's an ability to move forward and backwards. People talk about offsides, but that's also the beauty. The way the line of defense has to move up. The way the offense has to play.
You know, my
the
problem with
timing of your
offsides
run.
when they pull back goals on fractional, his fingernail, literally, you hear these words. His fingernail was past the line. Wipe off that goal. It's so subjective. And that's not even my biggest problem. I can't watch a sport where guys flop. You think the NBA has a flopping problem?
It does.
These guys, they do. But now you have... you think Joel Embiid is the flopper of
the
floppers?
NFL has a passing interference.
Wait. How come in soccer, when a guy gets hit, it looks like he's got hit by a truck, and he's dying on the floor, and then 5 seconds later, he's running and sprinting.
They pulled back on a lot of that. Goalies wasting clock, they'll give yellow cards at sometimes. I've seen it. You're not allowed to do that. That's been rushed. That's been sped up. Are there things that need to be cleaned up? Yes. How about the foul in the boxes, automatically putting it on the line for a penalty kick in the sport where there's very few goals? So, yes, there are things I would concede to you that need to be fixed. The clock, I'm not so crazy with the clock.
Clock is a problem, man.
I think the ref holds it. He does it. I'm not nuts with that. I'm really not. You know what I'm saying? He's holding the extra time.
Extra 5 minutes. What?
But it's all part of how the sports run. It's continuous clock, no commercials. It's a cleaner watch. And you want to talk about the slowness or the stillness, that's also part of the beauty, like the way Croatia scored. Now, it was crazy how the ball went off a little bit of a fraction of a hair, and that's why Croatia didn't get that goal late. So there might have to be some things they have to look at.
I am personally ready to move on to the next sport because I'm sick of talking soccer right now.
Okay.
Let's talk quickly about NBA free agency. Some major storylines. If you're watching our Instagram, you see our hot takes or instant reactions, I should say, on some moves. But still making its mass ripple effect right now is, and I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't think Boston's done right now. But the way Jaylen Brown got disrespected, I think, have you ever seen a more disrespected superstar? A finals MVP?
Yes, and 100%. I've seen it both ways. Number one, you see like just people obliterating him for what he is as a player, and then you just see not as much like hysteria about him going to Philly, like making them a real title contender.
Yeah, but if I would ask you,
so some things that are unsaid are glaring, and some things that have been said
in the NBA,
also.
Is there a bigger rival within the same conference, dating back decades, than Boston, Philadelphia? Well, I'm not going to say Boston, LA, because they meet in the finals and Boston owned that matchup forever until the Lakers won a few. But Boston Sixers is like, it's a rival as age old as time in the NBA. And
yeah,
they just eliminated them.
There isn't. That is the number one.
Dude, they eliminated them in the postseason. And now they trade him to the rival for what? A washed poison pill contract?
Well, he actually alluded to that on his Twitch. He mentioned, the last 10 years I've been bred to hate Philadelphia. Now I have to join the side of him. But If you look at the deal in its entirety, at the end of the day,
They didn't even get a good first rounder back.
they did.
No, they didn't get the first rounder.
They
from
got the
Philly back.
Clippers' 28 first-round pick, which is unprotected. And if you look at Clippers' current outlook as a roster, it's bleak. I mean, you got Garland, Ingram. Are you really going to pay Mathurin? I can't imagine.
Probably not.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll just retain him because it could be a tradable asset, and they already, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have many assets. So just keeping Mathurin is an asset in itself because they don't have much draft capital. So I think they have to pay him. But, man, that roster's bleak. Like, you look at that today and potentially what the Clippers might do in terms of a move, that could be a top 10 pick.
What do you think Kawhi's going to do
Top
on
5 pick.
Toronto now? I think he's a shell of himself.
But, I mean, look, you don't think – I mean, to wrap up with Philly, you don't think Philly's a title contender?
I do. I think
But I
that-
think the key for Philly at the end of the day
Is Embiid's health.
Yeah.
But you know
It's
what?
obvious.
The answer to your question is yes, they are a title contender. They have an unbelievable roster.
You know, I was going through all the teams thinking about
Who's a threat?
No, who would LeBron actually go to?
Rich Paul today said he's not going to the Knicks.
No, if you look at like just
Sixers.
if you look at the teams that are like just they're starving that haven't won, like it's been a long time coming for the Sixers.
Yeah, I think this is the Sixers' year, and I hate to say it because I hate them, but I think for the first time they made a move that was complimentary not of Joel Embiid. They made a move that's complimentary of Tyrese Maxey. They made a move complimentary of VJ Edgecombe because they realized that this is the last few years of Embiid. And
This
now,
is 100%.
so this is a speed. It helps the speed getting Jaylen Brown. So it makes me nervous.
I agree with you that you're right. It's a setup move for Philly. And also, by the way, LeBaron Philon, who might take a year, 2 years, or whatever, I think
gonna be
he's
good.
going to be a nice piece for
I
them.
agree.
So,
I like their roster, and I'm nervous from their roster. I was nervous.
so you're
when
right.
they played
Even if
them.
Embiid is gone in a year or two,
they're set up.
they
They're
can
set
just
up.
plug and play that with a piece.
And they become a destination.
By the way, Mike Gansey, just to close, I know you're anxious to move on to somebody else, but Mike Gansey, connection with LeBron from Ohio, and Mike Gansey's terrific. I put on my story the day he was hired in Philly, and I've been tracking Philly. I was in Philly's arena with two of my good buddies the year that Simmons was drafted, and Embiid had not played on the
You heard Simmons wants him to come
Embiid,
back.
yeah, Embiid didn't play yet. Embiid's first breakout game was on a Friday night against the Houston Rockets. I'm pretty certain, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" And then it blew up, and then Philly blew up. But I was in Philly's arena because we were buying tickets and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, Philly, where they went wrong the last decade, was the hirings of all their front office guys. Whether they got rid of Sam Hinkie, which was a huge loss.
He should drive the tank.
But yeah, he was awesome. He set up everything for them. He didn't make that trade to move back, where Boston ended up getting Tatum.
But
And Philly
Markelle
moved
Fultz
up.
didn't help him.
Yes, that wasn't his move though. That was when they brought in, I believe, Marks, and then they brought in Brand. It was just a spiral down effect. When they got Gansey, that changed everything, and that's why I think they're set up. So I love where Philly is, and
me
don't
too.
sleep on LeBron going there.
I agree with you. And listen, someone asked me, would you want LeBron the Knicks now? The truth is, now I don't mind. Last year I would say no. Because, we won without you. Cool. But he ain't coming. Rich Paul said today he ain't coming. Right. Let's move quickly to the next NBA topic before we move on, is how can Luka win with the all-white roster? Did you see the moves they made? They can't win this way.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I thought I don't know why they let go of Kennard.
What are they
and
doing?
Paid Grimes all that money, but I know Grimes and Luka have that connection from Dallas.
Dude, I don't
They played
care.
with each other, but I hear you.
He can't be happy.
The way the Lakers did it, though, they gave it's. I don't know about can't be happy because they definitely ran some of those moves by him. You know, they bring in Mamu, who I loved from Seton Hall, 4 years. They bring in Sexton on 2, which is okay. That's fine. That deal. That was actually probably the best deal out of all of them, just because minimal years. But then Grimes, 4 years. I mean, they're tied down to these guys X amount of years. I mean, the dollar amounts aren't huge. Potentially could be tradable assets, maybe.
I don't know,
they
man.
already traded draft picks.
Pretty
I
bad.
don't know. I really don't know where that
and then-
roster's going.
and to-
Rob Pelinka
Yeah, I'm about to ask you about
has been.
Is he the worst executive right
He's
now?
been so bad. The first big mistake he did was not run back the team from 2020. Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee,
Dwight Howard still wants to play.
Rondo, Caldwell Pope, all these guys, Caruso, all 5 guys were gone.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't run that team
Funny,
back.
when you say run it back, the Knicks tried to run it back, but they just lost a huge piece. Who do you think? I mean, they're trying to get Looney to replace the absence of Mitch right now, but I don't know. The East is getting better everywhere. I mean, we have Giannis in the same Miami now. We have Philly bolstered up.
Can Toronto stay healthy?
Toronto, if they stay healthy. Knicks, to me, are not a lock before this free agency started, I said they're a lock to be back in the ship. I don't know if they're going to win it, but I thought they were I think they still are a clear favorite in the East, but they're going to have a.
Are we just writing off Boston?
Yeah, I think Boston wrote off Boston when they made that asinine trade.
I don't know. I think they weirdly think they got better.
Think about it. You have replacing Jaylen Brown with
Jason Tatum.
And now
But you added Paul George.
adding Paul George, but Paul George averaged
And
17
you also
a game against them in the series.
you added Mitch,
Mitch is huge.
who weirdly might fit their style, because what does Boston like to do?
Rebound.
No. What do they only do?
Play defense and rebound.
They shoot threes. They only shoot
And they need him in the paint.
But more than that, offensive rebounding. He's going to get them these long or these offensive rebound kick-out threes, and the best threes come off of offensive rebound kick-outs.
Let's see if they took the playbook of
I'm
keeping
just
him healthy
saying,
now.
if he can stay healthy, they don't need him much of the regular season. I'm not saying, are they better? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We'll see how things play out. Can Tatum come back to being a top 5 player?
I think he can be.
I think he can. And if he is, boom. You have Derek White, who's awesome.
You love
All
him.
right. I love Derek White, and he defends. And then you can still now spread the court. You can probably play Pritchard with White and Tatum and
I read
George.
somewhere they're waiting
Since
for...
you have Mitch who can defend, PG can defend. Tatum's not incredible, but he can get down and stance and defend.
Watch.
No, I know that, but if he could stay healthy, there's still attributes he can bring. He can still defend a little, and he can still hit open threes. We're not asking him to do more than that, right? And now Derek White can do it all at the guard spot.
boy.
Tatum's an all-NBA guy. Mitch is going to do what Mitch does. All of a sudden, I'm seeing a front office that might have gone back to, of course, you'd rather have Jaylen Brown. I'm not telling you I'd rather have Brown.
JB,
But my
Finals
point to you
MVP.
is that look how the Knicks did it. Don't tell me the Knicks have like top 10 players everywhere. Right? They have their top
They
stud.
built a great team.
They have another top 25 guy
OG.
in. No, I'm put
Cat,
OG maybe.
OG, JB.
I put Cat more top. Put Cat and OG as both top 25,
Right.
right? To surround them, and
JB
Bridges
top
maybe
5.
like 40. Okay, fair. So now Boston's probably looking at it like they have their Tatum. Is
They're
Derek
waiting
White
for-
maybe a top 30 player? He
No,
probably
not
is.
anymore. And to you, he is. To
He
you, he'll
probably
always be number
is.
1 in your heart.
I disagree. I think Derek White's top 30.
Anyway, I'm moving on. I think the NBA is not done yet. I think Boston's not done making moves yet, and that's what scares me. That's why I don't want to comment really about my projections of the Celtic roster.
So who's your 1 or 2 sleepers here in terms of like free agency that can like you can see make that next push next year?
Well, next year is another story. I mean,
No, I'm talking about in sort of this
for
upcoming
coming
season,
up. I mean,
which with the moves have already been made.
there are a few moves that people say are meaningless, like the Ant trade. People think it's meaningless. I don't think that's meaningless. I think Portland's actually not terrible right now. It sounds crazy. They're going to make noise. I think that, who else made a small move that I
Portland
looked at?
for sure.
No, I mean, there's a few moves that were made that are under the radar moves that I think are actually the Nets. How about that? You shambled them?
They suck.
You shambled them? They suck? You're right. They are guaranteed a spot in at least making that
Are you
8th, 9th, 10th seed
Are
in
you
the East.
out of your mind?
I guarantee it.
Dude, are you out of your mind?
Yes.
They're
Yes.
not even close. What are you talking about? Go
Julius
through-
Randle will make them a playoff team.
Dude, go through the teams. You have
Okay.
the Knicks. You have the Celtics.
These
You have
stinks.
the six Knicks,
Yeah,
Celtics,
Pacers.
Sixers, Pacers, Raptors,
Yeah,
Magic,
yeah,
Hornets,
Yeah.
Heat.
yeah. Then
Let's go through it.
then you have that fodder right there.
No, you're missing a team or two.
You don't think the Nets...
Hawks 9.
Okay.
Who else? I'm missing a team.
How many make the...
Did we say Indiana?
Yeah, we did. They're the 10th best team. They could be the 12th best team in the East and be in contention for the playoffs. I think they made enough of a lead.
I don't think they are. I just named 9, and I know I'm missing 1.
I could look it up if you want, but I
The
think
Bulls are better than them.
the Bulls... They're so mismanaged, but okay.
But maybe they could be an 11. I don't know how
I mean,
bad.
going from dead last to that's a huge leap. Anyway, fine. Who was your surprise?
No, I mean,
leap team?
I'm always bold. You know me. I always go bold.
I love what Charlotte did.
I mean, Charlotte's good. They're structurally nicely fit in terms of like wings, bigs, guards. I like that, but I mean, I don't see them higher than like a 6-7 seed in the East.
Yeah, but they can make noise.
I personally
LaMelo now?
No, I love Utah. I think Utah can make some real noise out west. I think they're going to win like 45 to 50 games. I really do. I think Utah has a potential, 8-9 seed in the West sneakily, even moving up higher potentially if there's injuries and things move around. Utah's really good.
Tell me how you feel like LaMelo's going to play this year now.
I think he's great. I think the ability he'll have, just because Ant's really, you just slide him to the 2. He can just shoot a lot of shots. He can play his role. You don't have to worry about him like having to create. And now how are you going to double team Ant when you have LaMelo could shoot, you have players around that team. Shannon can make plays. Like you're going to have Terrence Shannon attacking closeouts. I think Isaiah Evans, who's so sneaky. You know, we didn't get to my second round coverage of the draft, but Isaiah Evans was one of my favorite picks. Of course, Malik Thomas, who was a top 20 talent in the draft, should not have gone in the second round, but Isaiah Evans, one of my favorite picks. You're talking about Isaiah Evans being wide open on the wing, getting catch and shoot threes. They brought back Bones Highland. That's great. They're loaded. Like Minnesota is super, super loaded. Io could shoot some open threes.
I like Minnesota. I thought it in the beginning. I didn't like the fit,
but they're not a sneak. They're not like
but
sneaking.
they are because they made so many parallel moves. It's tough to like
fully buy in.
Really buy in because you have to see it. Okay, so then I think that should wrap up our NBA coverage because it's still fluid. I think we come back in, we talk about the finality of the offseason a different time. I want to move on to the Yankees because last time we chatted, you're all gushing over Brian Cashman. And I said, I don't know if you remember, it was right when Judge got hurt, and I said, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. This lineup is not. You're saying Rosario, Goldschmidt. You're throwing names out of it. Whatever. This Yankee team, this yearly June swoon is not a June swoon. I get it. The AL stinks. I understand that. They are going to make the playoffs by default. I don't know if they're going to win the division right now. They have a huge series coming up with Tampa coming up now, which they're 5 out in the loss column all of a sudden. But this bullpen is a tragedy. And for the first time, I will tell you, I'm always usually on the fence, Aaron Boone. They're losing games because decisions that are being made are bad decisions that are being made. I'll give you a perfect example. I mean, it sounds trivial, but I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty. You have Oswaldo Cabrera coming up on deck, and you are laying down a bunt, giving up an out, letting Oswaldo hit while you have Goldschmidt on the bench. These small moves are losing games in extra innings. These are games against putrid teams. The pen is not good. Yeah, we have Max Fried coming back. Stanton's always hurt. Judge is not going to come in and save the day. However, they're going to be comfortable with themselves. They'll be a playoff team and get flamed out in the first or second round. They are not built to win. I'm sorry. They are supposed to be carried by Ben Rice, the toast of the town, the future MVP. He stinks right now. They're supposed to be carried by your boy Cody Bellinger in the outfield. He stinks right now. Trent Grisham coming back. Do me a favor. This Yankee team is not good. They're not winning anything. They look good in comparative to all of the fodder in the AL. And when they face real challenges, people are saying, should they get Paul Skeens? Of course you got Paul Skeens. Trade away these prospects that stink. They rot. The Yankees tout their prospects to be the next coming. And where are they? I can give you a litany of prospects that are terrible, that never made it. Use the farm system. Bolster the roster, make moves, have a deadline that you remember. Don't make it David Bednar and Camilo Doval. Doval stinks! Stop it. They have a terrible bullpen. They have no bullpen. The bench is being exposed. The team's being exposed right now. They don't have a catcher that can hit the ball. The worst starting catcher in history. In history! Look at the numbers. Austin Wells, swell fella. You stink. The team is not good. They're trying to figure out where they can plug in Caballero instead of giving a guaranteed tenure at shortstop to Volpe. Stop it already. Why am I looking at Ryan McMahon at third base? The guy's numbers are putrid. His advanced metrics are putrid. Jazz Chisholm, take the damn lollipop out of your mouth. Stop it already. This team is not good. I'm sick. You know what? Thank God for the Knicks, because without them, I would be, you think I'm mad now? I would be flipping out at how bad this Yankee team is.
Yeah. I mean, look, your concerns are warranted. The Jazz thing was ridiculous. I think any media person that, all these people haven't coached or haven't really been a part of the team. There's so many people in sports that these days, anyone who's been a part of a team or has coached or anything, you don't do that. You don't bring a lollipop out to the
Now, Boone looked bad, by the way.
Yeah,
because Boone said, I don't know, by the way, he went on Talking Yanks podcast, and he goes, I'm furious at Jazz. And then the next day, he's calling him the lollipop kid. Someone talked to him from above and said, you better make this guy happy. Something looks fractured in that clubhouse. I
don't know. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think there's a moment of ridicule, and then there's a moment of bringing it back to earth. Like, you let your player, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily buy that. Like, you know, if your player says F you to you while you're coaching him, you sit him the whole game. But now the next game, and you'll say why you sat him and what the situation was, but, you know, you'll talk to him after the game. You'll get him back out and let him roll out for the next game. Like, so it's like,
he had a home run the next day, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just saying at the same time, you got to be able to move on as a manager. So yeah, I don't see you'll think Jazz do that again.
You know what's funny? Jazz, if you look at his career as a Yankee since he got traded here, he was a 40-40 type player.
But again, you can't have it both ways. At the end of the day, you got to let the 162 play out. The reality is that a month or so ago,
they
or
were
even
great
3
on top
weeks
of the
ago.
world.
But I'm just saying, Ben Rice is a leading candidate for AL MVP. Everything's going well. Like, there's highs and lows.
They lost 7 games in a row.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say 7 in a row is 7 in a row. There's no doubt.
Against crap.
All right, I hear it. But regardless, let it play out. Now, roster-wise, you could talk about some of your things. I keep trying to tell you this. At the end of the day, if you want to bring in these prize free agents,
they don't.
Then they have.
They don't.
How much money is Fried getting paid?
Dude,
how much money is Rodon
they sunk
getting
their money
paid?
into the rotation.
Okay, just listen. How much is Fried getting paid? How
A
much
lot.
is Rodon
A
getting
lot.
paid? And Judge and Stanton and who else is getting paid a lot? Bellinger. And you have 6-7 guys making up your whole payroll.
Yep.
So unless you want the Yankees to start moving off of stars getting paid and then just having middling type
Why do you
players
get more stars?
that you're hoping overachieve.
You're the
in
New York
certain
Yankees.
instances,
Get more stars.
but
The
they're not.
Dodgers can do
They've
it.
clearly shown that they're not going over a certain price tag.
Nonsense.
So that's why I keep trying to tell you, stop putting it on the GM. If the owner's not going to spend, then you're not going to get. That's the bottom line. So until you tell
Case
me...
closed then. You know what? If that's the case, they're never going to win
No,
anything.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. It's you have to be willing to not sign prize free agents, but the Yankee fan base always wants
Okay, stop. Okay,
these
so
high prize free agents.
slow down. When they could have got Bryce Harper and put him at first because he wanted to come. Actually said it many times. And Cashman goes, nah, we'll pass. We'll get Stanton instead. Mistake. Okay, how come when a guy like Machado, who wanted to be a Yankee, but nah, we'll pass. Let him go to San Diego at the time. There's so many of these stars that actually want to come that will be impact players on the Yankees that are built for the moment, and they'll go to some other option and go, let's trade for Ryan McMahon. Let's trade for, let's get Trent
Well, I'm sure that
Grisham.
those were additional finance things that they didn't want to
But it's
give.
not. But that's
$400 million
stars.
contract.
But they gave it instead to Giancarlo Stanton. Oh, I love Big G.
I think they had already traded for him.
No. Stanton was the fallback after they didn't get Harper. But okay, nor here nor there. Anyway, I don't think they're good. I think they're not winning anything, and I hope I'm wrong, but that's just my
Well, they're going to be in
feelings.
the mix. Let's see what they do at the deadline.
That's
Look, at
key.
the end of the day, they're always trying. Look, the bullpen, you could talk about that, but their bullpen had moments of
They don't
greatness.
have
So
there's no swing and miss stuff in the bullpen. That's my problem with the bullpen. Bullpens are successful when they swing and miss stuff.
But they've had moments where Cashman's been able to do well. Every team is constantly
Now the guy's got
trying
a
to
tenure
shuffle
for
in.
life, Cashman.
San Diego, it seems to have found it consistently in that back end every year. But
It's funny,
not
you know where
every team.
you know who runs San Diego's front office?
What's his name? We talked about him. He's one of the best. AJ Preller.
Yeah, and who was involved with AJ Preller? Damon Oppenheimer. Damon Oppenheimer used to be work for Cashman.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so the trees doesn't just exist in other sports. The coaching trees also exist in baseball.
I mean, what do the Yankees need to do at deadline?
They need
Obviously, get
bullpen
a catcher.
arms. They need a catcher, and they need a freaking third baseman. That's just. I'm sorry. There's too many issues. The lineup is too short. My point was before they're trying to find ways to plug in Caballero in the field, like put him in right, put him in left, put him in center. They're just throwing him out of position. No, put him at short and sit Volpe down. He's not good. Get over it. Nice kid, local, not good. All
I
right,
got to move on from Volpe.
I'm done now. Okay, I'm gonna end off the show with a crazy question segment. Just popped in my head. Simmons, unfiltered, unbridled thoughts. If I had 2 envelopes for you, one envelope, if you open up, it gives you the exact time and date that you die. The other envelope tells you the cause of death. Which are you choosing? Remember, once you open it, your face speaks volumes. You can't change it. You know it. So would you rather know and live out your days knowing when or the reason why? You can't change it. Go.
I mean, How many damn Celsius did you drink this morning to come up with such a sadistic question?
Answer the question. That's what I have to ask you.
I lost, once you mentioned the first thing, I actually my brain went to another hemisphere.
All right, so let's start again. We're going to start again.
mean,
Pick one. If you had to choose one, you know the time or you know the cause. You can't change the outcome. You only can pick one. What are you doing?
The time?
Time, date, so you know exactly how many days left, or the reason, cause.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, you kind of froze me on this one. And I'm not one for to lose my train of thought, but I mean, goodness, that's I mean, it's tough. I mean, time knowing is sort of like, gives you the ability to
Plan your days properly.
Yeah, plan your days, and it's kind of freaky though. It's like I don't know if my mind would be able to. That's just, I don't know, Sam. I mean, that's
if you had to choose one,
I hate those questions, man.
That's why I asked them.
Are you answering this, or is
Yes,
it just
I'll
me?
answer it.
If I had to choose one, I mean, I don't know, man. And I'm one of the more indecisive people.
You think?
I don't know, Sam. You know what? I'll stay.
You're staying out of the question? You know what? I want you guys at home, answer below if you had to choose to know when or to know why or how. What would you choose? Me personally, I think when is the right answer.
I think most people would choose when.
We got an answer out of you. That's all I needed. Okay, great. This has been the last call with Sutton and Simmons. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully next time we'll be back in our original studio with the greenery in the background. It's under construction right now.
Tell me about
We have a lot amazing things coming up, Dave. Last Call Live is this new feature. We're doing activation at events. You can have David and I there. Also, if you want to have your company or a business featured and sponsoring an episode or even for the year, you could have it. Our numbers are insane, and I would love to welcome more sponsors to the family. But either way, this has been Real David, and had a great time, and soccer sucks. Let's go. We're out.
That's great.
Pack, this where the real ones show up. Stand there for the ones who know what's up. It's the album where the realest pull up. Game over, that's when the truth fall out the cup. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Sutton from Sutton and Simmons, and I want to thank every single one of you at home for helping making this journey a reality. We are a few episodes in, and the outpour has been absolutely amazing. Between Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, there's hundreds of thousands of views, and I could not have imagined that at all. We were coming in just talking sports, and whoever's interested, tune in, and you guys have tuned in. That said, if you want us to continue doing Sutton and Simmons, we have sponsorship opportunities available. Please reach out if you're interested in having your company featured as the presenting sponsor for Last Call with Sutton and Simmons. I look forward to hearing from every single one of you. Thank you.
Last call, Sutton and Simmons. Last call, uncut opinions. Last call, what the polish won't say. Pull the stool up, the rounds on the way.